This entire meditation that we do, it simply has a very simple ending. I mean, it goes to the place where you discover in your heart that the reason we're all living on the earth is just simply to be happy people, not to be religious people, not to be, you know, whatever. Because whatever it is, if it doesn't produce happiness in the heart, it's not doing the work it's supposed to do on the earth. And that's basically why we're here, why we're born, is to learn how to transform difficulty, suffering, unhappiness into joy and love. And doing that is the essence of all spiritual practice. Because, joy, love, happiness, it's the highest language of God on the earth. And our work is really about that. As I said earlier, every meditation class should be one step closer to a person getting their spiritual enlightenment. It should be one step closer to overcoming the blocks and all the obstructions that exist in one's life that keep us from doing that. And step by step by step, the whole system of a human being changes. And ultimately, there's this expression of love, of joy, of forgiveness, of all the higher, ways of living, and also the ways of working out one's karma. And that's what this is about, and it took me years to learn this. When I was younger and I first was doing Rudy's work, I thought, wow, this is so powerful. It can save the world. Well, it's not going to save the world, but it can save each and every one of us, because there's a technique and there's a way to do it. It's not just words in a book. There's actually a way to do it. And it doesn't have to do with ritual and all the other panoply of spiritual practice, what you eat and what your sexual orientation is and all of that stuff. It has nothing to do with anything. That it is simply a technique that will develop a chakra system that no matter who you are, it'll allow you to build the inner strength that ultimately permits one to be a happy person, to have joy and love in their life, and to just simply live that way. But that's what this is about. And you can't take these classes for granted, because each class that you attend is a step in that direction. And that's what it should be. And I say, my job is not being a guru, being a swami, being all that stuff. My job is to simply train people on how to take those steps. And I frankly, when I was away last week, this is what became very real to me. This is my job, this is my work, and this is where everything that I do in the future is going to lead to. A class at a time, a step at a time, helping people to develop a strong inner life so that they can find their oneness with God. I mean, I couldn't even begin to conjure up a more wonderful way to live. And if I thought about it, nothing even compares with that. So just really try to understand, or at least experience, the preciousness of each and every meditation that we do. And the miracle of having this in our life, the miracle of Rudy having taken, teachings from Hinduism, Buddhism, Gurdjieff, and Park Sabud, wherever he did his work when he was younger, putting it all together, and the soup, all the ingredients in the soup, came up with this double breathing exercise. which is the miracle, and I say it all the time, the great miracle he left us all. So remember, every class can't be, I teach a lot of classes. Don't take them for granted, attend them. You don't have to like me. I'm not running a popularity contest here, Just take the energy and grow with it, and allow yourself to become a child of God, because you will build an inner life that will enable you to do what I'm talking about. So that every meditation, whether you do it here or you do it on your own, is something precious. It's a gift that came through Rudy to all of us. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? I hope it's clear what I'm talking about. It's so simple, and people have a tendency to complicate this thing beyond belief. It's really true, Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Okay, I'll just announce it again. Tomorrow I begin in-person classes. There are some people coming, and there'll be at least 4 or 5 of these a week. I mean, Jennifer sent out a list to everybody and a schedule of what's going to happen. I know people live all over the world here, from New Zealand to Brazil to, southern United States and East and West Coast, and I don't expect people to commute to these classes. But if you find the need to do this kind of in-person work, you can come and spend 4 days here. Yeah, I know it costs a little money, but what you'll get in return, the investment you make will bring back so much in terms of spiritual practice. And people are already getting in touch with me. They want to come in April. They want to, So I would think about it, and I would try to make 3, 4 days, a spiritual vacation. And also there's the retreat. I think we have 22 or 23 people already. If you haven't signed up, you better get in touch with me or Jennifer because the places are going fast. I told you that I'm going to have a cutoff of 25 people. And something in the core of your being says, I need to spend a weekend like that to change in my life and grow. Sign up. There's still some places left open. Does anyone have a question? Once this, gets signed up, I'm going to even stop talking about it, because there are more important things to talk about than convincing people to come to a retreat. Does anyone else have a question, or does anyone have a question? Okay, if there are no questions, then there will be meditation on Wednesday evening, my time. I know it's earlier in the West Coast, and my God, it's the next day in New Zealand. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And thank you. As I end all these classes, I can't tell you the gratitude I have. The stuff that I am learning because you are present here, to me, is one of the great miracles in my life. So I cannot have anything but infinite gratitude for all of you that attend these classes and that, are able to do this work with me. And I think to me, it's very important that just to be grateful, for people who are willing to make the effort to attend the classes. And I when the need is real, look, I know this from my own life. When the need is real to do something, all the gates to heaven open up. The universe comes down, God comes and just makes it possible for you to do what you need to do to develop a system inside to attain enlightenment. When the need isn't real, there's always a job and a this, and I have no money, and I have this. There's always 50 reasons why people can't do it. And I always explain to you, all of you, you have to overcome yourself. That is where the problem lies. And all this resistance inside is just a manifestation, of one hasn't really tapped that need yet. One hasn't really gone deep enough in themselves to get a taste of God. And once you get that taste of God, I promise you, I've seen it in my own life. How suddenly it's like Moses waving a wand and the Red Sea separates and you can walk out of Egypt into the promised land, It's really true. It's a metaphor for a very profound truth that exists, that's based on the depth of need that a human being has to truly have a spiritual life. And all the rest of it is just excuses because one hasn't tapped that need. When the need gets real, the money comes, everything comes, they have to protect you. The universe has to protect you because there are so few people on the earth with that kind of need that they need to sustain at least a spiritual practice in the world, where people truly have tapped that inside themselves. So, I've heard every excuse and I don't listen anymore. I really mean it. And the reality is one does tap that need. You'll get a taste of God inside yourself. And once you get that taste of God, I'm telling you that it's like the Red Sea, it parts and things become possible that you never dreamed could ever be possible in your life. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you. God bless you all. Have a wonderful tomorrow and this evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you,
Thank
Stuart.
you very much, Stuart.